Good afternoon, good evening, friends. This is Naresh, your host from Autocars India, bringing you live commentary for qualifying session of the penultimate Grand Prix of 2017 Formula One season. After Lewis Hamilton wraps up the championship for drivers last time around in Mexico, in no means this is going to be a dead rubber this weekend. We see some interesting things happening in this weekend as free practice 1 and free practice 2 are shared equally between Ferrari and Mercedes. Free practice 3, surprisingly, Red Bulls doesn't seems to be getting along anywhere. They are almost a second off the pace, with Verstappen almost having a near miss in the last few minutes of free practice 3. Daniel Ricciardo doesn't seems to be good. It's going to be a very interesting battle and a qualifying battle coming across to us. Just to give you heads up, Lewis Hamilton wrapped up the championship in Mexico last Grand Prix round, even though it was the day for Max Verstappen, who won the Grand Prix weekend in Mexico. Lewis Hamilton taken all the limelight of the fans and winning the championship battle. So we are here in Brazil at the qualifying session at Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace track. A bit of history around this track. This is the only track, or I would say Brazilian Grand Prix, which is there around since 1973. One of the longest Grand Prix which are there permanently on the Formula One circuit. It all started in 1938 when a huge plot of land was bought in Sao Paulo by two local property dealers who intended to build a large housing development. But very soon it was understood by them that this land is not suitable, and they decided to go and make a racing track. In 1970s, Fittipaldi, the local hero, began a sensation in Brazil, and developers decided to make it a permanent racing track. In years 1971 and 72, Interlagos hosted non-championship event, but 1973 it hosted its first Grand Prix championship weekend. Since then, there have been some off and on season for this track, where Grand Prix were shifted to Rio de Janeiro, but finally they got it back in Interlagos from 1981, where they are having a permanent home of Formula One in Brazil. A lot of champions have come across, and especially the Brazilians, the great Ayrton Senna, who ran for McLaren, has won his championship in Brazil. With this track, a permanent feature of Formula One, it always promises to give the best of action what we can expect in Formula One. Ironically, Fernando Alonso won both the championships in 2005 and 6 in Brazil. And also, who could forget the last year Grand Prix here, which started in rain, and Max Verstappen was able to show his heroics in rain, and this year around he switched to Red Bull, the senior team, and he's already won races, two races this year, and total 3 Grand Prix of his career. What a great season Max Verstappen is having after he had dismal first half of this season. So we are in Brazil, Driver Championship wrapped up, Constructor Championships wrapped up, battle, everybody will be coming to this championship, this race with absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Lewis Hamilton gets a chance to unfreeze his arms and show his heroics. It will be all be seen with Red Bull, how they are going to work out in this qualifying session, and they don't seem to be looking a great team this time around. This is your host Naresh from Autocars India, bringing you live commentary for Brazilian Grand Prix. Do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on the right corners of your screen. As we are moving to the penultimate race of the season with Balance Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we expect some thrilling action coming across to us in this Grand Prix. Also interesting will be the weather condition, which expects to be raining sometime or the other in this qualifying session. This racetrack, Autodromo José Carlos Pace, first Grand Prix held in 1973, number of laps 71, circuit length 4.309 kilometers, with race distance of 305.909 kilometers. Lap record is with Mexican Colombian John Pablo Montoya in 2004. Time set 1 minute 11.473 seconds, and no doubt about it that this year this is going to be broken, as cars are setting easily 1 minute 9 seconds in the practice sessions. A racetrack which is demanding, one of the high racetracks in the Formula 1 calendar with 782 meter elevation, with 15 corners, a track which everybody loves to come on, everybody wants to explore every bit of this track. We are here in Brazil and all set for qualifying session to start off, which is going to get off in few minutes time for an unthrilling weekend start in Brazil. Free practice 1 led by Ferrari, free practice 2 led by Mercedes, free practice 3 again Ferrari. Mercedes was seen to be bit pace off, with surely Red Bulls were a second pace off as compared to the leaders in free practice 3. McLaren showing strong with Fernando Alonso. He finished 6th in free practice 3, and the timing set was really encouraging, and they were definitely above Force India's of Ocon and Sergio Perez. as we are just few seconds away for the Brazilian weekend qualifying. We are in round 19 at Autodrome Jose Carlos Pace Racetrack. The track is 2.6 mile and really demanding sector 2 here. Mercedes has dominated the free practice, but by a tiny margin, and Ferrari is doing good. And bit of rain around in the skies. We'll look forward to a great weekend here. All teams would like to get their cars as soon as possible on the track to avoid any misjudgments later on when the rain do expect to fall sometime or the other. Air temperature as of now 18 degrees Celsius, track temperature 29 degrees Celsius. As we all get set to go for first qualifying session, Q3. Hamilton won the championship with 333 points, well ahead of Sebastian Vettel. And this race around, if Bottas does good, he could also potentially overtake Sebastian Vettel for second position in the championship. As the clock is ticking down to the start of the session, large number of crowds have gathered at this racetrack, which looks to be increasingly animated, and weather definitely plays a big role here. Of course, the local hero Felipe Massa, the final qualifying session on home soil before he retires, finally second time around from Formula One this time. Can he produce a performance worthy of the occasion this afternoon? Time to see. In the meantime, news from the paddock. Lance Stroll, he had some problems when he was in free practice 3. He was driving on 5th gear and suddenly his car went to neutral and he's sitting out. He's facing a race against time to get out and get his car ready for qualifying with all the problems he had in free practice 3. The news is the gearbox and the engine needs to be changed for Lance Stroll car, and hopefully they can finish in time to bring the car on track. We are just few minutes away from the start of Q1 here, qualifying session, as the cars get ready in the pit lanes, drivers strap down. Championship battle over. Personal battles to go on this weekend and the weekend coming in Abu Dhabi. The last race for the Americas for this season, and it goes green light. Q1 is officially underway. Toro Rosso, the first ones to come out on the track, followed by Mercedes, both the Mercedes, Hamilton leading, Bottas behind him, are on the track. 18 minutes in Q1. Every driver would like to come as soon as possible and ensure he gets decent time to explore the track before rain could start falling anytime. Pascal Wehrlein in his Sauber was the first driver to come out of the pits. Session will last for 18 minutes as Lance Stroll runs against the time to have his car ready with gearbox and engine to be replaced. Ferrari's still waiting for the signal to come out of the pits. Van Dorn is also out for McLaren as Lewis Hamilton will be the first man to start his time lap here. It will be interesting to see how Lewis Hamilton performs with his super soft tire. He is the master of bringing the pole positions. He's leading the pole position and he spins and he hit the barriers. What a pity for Lewis Hamilton. The first out lap, he's not even started and he smacked out of the track. Hamilton has hit the barriers. You cannot expect this kind of error from Lewis Hamilton. Nevertheless, we were all waiting for some action and we have the action here as his front suspension is damaged and he's not even started his time lap and race is red flag now. Last time he failed in Q1 is way back in 2016. Such a shame for Lewis Hamilton. As Lewis Hamilton makes one of the weird errors, he goes out and surely he will not be able to bring the car back in time as he hits a pit, hits a tire wall right before he was gearing up for it's a shame. As we see, Lewis Hamilton's car is being cleared from the track. His suspension has failed, the front suspension. Damage will be assessed on his car, on the rear side also. It was a strong hit on the barrier. Dramatic start for this qualifying session. as Lewis Hamilton car is getting cleared. Front suspension is completely damaged and it's hanging off the car, and also the side work of the car. Lewis Hamilton didn't even set the lap time. Four-time World Championship winner is out in very first qualifying session after he wins the Driver Championship last weekend in Mexico. Definitely a lot of damage has been done in this Mercedes, as we can see. So as the qualifying session is red flagged, in around 16 minutes time, we now await the session to start once again. As the flags go green once again, we are set for action. Good news for Lance Stroll, his car can come out in time. So pole positions at Interlagos, Ayrton Senna, Mika Häkkinen, Felipe Massa and Rubens Barrichello hold 3 pole positions each among them on this circuit. We have 14 minutes to go in this session and the cars are getting ready in their out lap. They will all try to set up the timing, as we do expect the rain to come across sometime or the other during the qualifying session. Hamilton is out in Q1 after a long time. 2016, last time around, he came out in qualifying session 1. As Brendan Hartley is the first driver in his Toro Rosso to set up the time lap, makes a mistake in sector 2. He will set the benchmarking timings in this sector. As Brendan Hartley sets a first time lap and immediately been overtaken by Nico Hülkenberg, tops the time sheet with 1 minute 10.947 by the super soft Carlos Sainz. Now betters the time, and Esteban Ocon now betters the time, 1 minute 10.509. Valtteri Bottas is the next one on the track and he improves by almost half a second. He goes 1:10.053. Raikkonen is the second with its soft tires. Esteban Ocon in third position. Carlos Sainz in fourth. Sergio Perez fifth. Nico Hülkenberg sixth. Gasly comes in seventh. Grosjean eighth. Ninth Magnussen. 10th Pascal Wehrlein. As the time sheet suggests, Verstappen is leading, however just been overtaken by Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel on his soft tires sets a time lap with 1 minute 9.796, more like it. Verstappen second, Valtteri Bottas third, Kimi Raikkonen fourth, Alonso with again very strong lap in fifth, P5. Daniel Ricciardo 6th, Ocon 7th, Sainz 8th, 9th, Massa 10th, Perez. Drivers in relegation zone: Pascal Wehrlein, Brendan Hartley, Marcus Ericsson, Lewis Hamilton of course out, Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll on his time lap, sector 1, he is 6/10 of the second down in sector 1 as he goes around the sector 2 with his new gearbox and engine. Is lucky to be back on track in time. Let's see how he can do it. Sector 2, not a very great lap, but it'll be interesting to see with 9.5 seconds to go, 9.5 minutes to go in this session. He's already 2.4 seconds down, so he's not doing any good in his lap. He has to probably go for another lap. As did Daniel Ricciardo, goes to P4. as Raikkonen goes P1 now. Raikkonen P1, Valtteri Bottas P2 in super soft tires. Definitely Ferrari are very strong as they are setting this time on soft tires, whereas all other drivers are on super soft tires. With Lewis Hamilton damaged his car in the outlap. Drivers in relegation zone: Pascal Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson of Sauber, Hartley of Toro Rosso, Lance Stroll, Williams and Lewis Hamilton will not be able to come back on track in time. Lance Stroll in 19th position as of now. He's really struggling with his car after the engine and gearbox change in his car. And what a pity for Lewis Hamilton today. He didn't even set a time lap and he hits the barrier across. Such a shame for Lewis Hamilton. It only last time around in 2016 when it happened, when he did not compete in Q2, and this time around in 2017 he does it again. As Lance Stroll for another time lap, sector 1 will be interesting to see. It looks to be a pretty good sector as of now. Takes the curbs nicely on the limits for Lance Stroll as he goes to the sector 2, just about to complete the sector 2. Kimi Raikkonen is leading. Lance Stroll is half a second down in sector 2. Looks to be a good lap and he should be comfortably coming out of the relegation zone as he goes around the last corner, corner number 15, and flat out as he crosses, he goes 18. He's still P18. He needs to find a second of it in this car. In the meantime, Kimi Raikkonen, he would like to back off a bit. Kimi Raikkonen is surely safe with 1 minute 9.405 seconds. He's P1 as of now in this qualifying session 1. As Kevin Magnussen in 14th position gets ready to come out on the track, he's definitely not safe. Fernando Alonso in McLaren looks pretty competitive this time around. He's in 8th position and very much close to the time set by Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon of time of Force India. And looks to be very competitive. You see, they are all differentiated by only 7/10 of the second, the top 10 cars. As Lance Stroll once again gets his car to come in the pits, probably they should have a change of tire and give him a one more go. That should be more like it. As of now, drivers in relegation zone: Pascal Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson of Sauber, Lance Stroll, Williams, Brendan Hartley of Toro Rosso, and Hamilton already out at the very first lap in qualifying session 1. With 4.5 minutes to go, we see Haas Roman Grosjean. His teaming is broken. He has missed it somewhere on the track. Kimi Raikkonen is P1 as of now, and Ferrari, remember, they are using soft tires as of now. Rest all the drivers on the grid are using super soft tires. Raikkonen is 1 minute 9.405 seconds with Valtteri Bottas behind him. 400 of a second gap between the leader. Drivers in relegation zone. Verlaine, Marcus Ericsson, Lance Stroll, Hartley, Lewis Hamilton. Roman Grosjean now, he's in sector 2. He needs to desperately get his time better, as he's definitely not safe as of now in 14th position, as 13, 14 position, 15 position are almost vulnerable to getting out in this qualifying session. Last 3 minutes, as Roman Grosjean, he's half a second down already on sector 2 timings. As he comes around, finishes the lap. Where does he finish? Looks to improve his time surely, and he goes P7. Pretty nice time by Roman Grosjean in Haas. Kevin Magnussen, the next one, is behind him, crosses the line, only 14 fastest. Pascal Wehrlein is the next one. He needs to bring his car up, and he does it. He's P15. Brendan Hartley, the next one, goes around last few corners. Presently in 19th position. Will he be able to improve his timing? Yes, he does. He's P15. He displaces Pascal Wehrlein. Now Stoffel Van Dorn. He's looking to better his time. He does it. He goes P12. Marcus Ericsson, the next one. Will he be able to do it? He is not able to do it. P18 for Marcus Ericsson. Pierre Gasly now crosses the line. P17. Cannot do better. With just 2 minutes to go in this session. As we just about to finish the qualifying session 1 with 1 minute 10 seconds to go in this session. Drivers in relegation zone: Pascal Wehrlein of Sauber, Pierre Gasly, Toro Rosso, Marcus Ericsson, Sauber, Lance Stroll, Williams, and Lewis Hamilton, who will not be able to set up any more timings. Felipe Massa right now on the track will look to entertain the crowd, the home crowd. He's presently P13 and he looks to be safe. However, he would like to better his timing as he goes around sector 1. Remember, Felipe Massa is holding the record. He's the second best maximum number of laps led at Interlagos. Michael Schumacher 236 laps. Felipe Massa holds a second position with 183 laps. With Sebastian Vettel 168 laps in third position, and great Ayrton Senna in fourth position. So Brazil track is good for local heroes as always. Felipe Massa, sector 2 finishing, pretty good sector 2. Looks to be bettering his time. In the meantime, Kevin Magnussen improves his timing as Felipe Massa goes, and he goes P4. What a great lap by Felipe Massa. Brendan Hartley. Hartley goes P15. Lance Stroll is coming behind. Will Lance Stroll be able to come out of the relegation zone as he comes around start finish line, crosses it? No, he doesn't. He's P18. Pierre Gasly, the next one, he's P17. He remains P17. So Gasly is out. Checkered flag is out. And all done fair and square. Verlaine, Gasly, Stroll, Ericsson and Hamilton out of Q1. What a great lap by Felipe Massa. So we have the list of drivers out of Q1: Pascal Wehrlein of Sauber, Pierre Gasly of Toro Rosso, Lance Stroll, Williams, Marcus Ericsson, Sauber, and Lewis Hamilton out from qualifying session 1. So just to give you update as we get ready for qualifying session 2, a great session by Ferrari. Kimi Raikkonen on his soft tires is leading the timesheet with 1 minute 9.405 seconds. Valtteri Bottas of Mercedes second with just 400 of the second slower than Raikkonen in his super soft tires. Remember, Vettel also on soft tires in third position, P4 Massa, P5 Max Verstappen, Red Bull Ricciardo in sixth position, Red Bull Nico Hülkenberg in Renault 7th, Sergio Perez 8th, Roman Grosjean in 9th, Esteban Ocon 10th, Fernando Alonso 11th, Carlos Sainz 12th, Stoffel Vandoorne 13th, Magnussen 14th, and Brendan Hartley just managed to bring his car out in 15th position. Just waiting for session 2 to start. Lewis Hamilton, what a pity as he hits the barrier in his outlap and gives him no chance of competing whatsoever in qualifying session 1. It was a bad hit also. He damaged his front suspension, front side work, body work, which surely could be damaging the gearbox of the car also. Such a shame for Lewis Hamilton, 4-time world champion, going out in qualifying session 1 in such a way. But Yes, this opens up the chances for other drivers to win the Grand Prix. And who knows, Lewis Hamilton will definitely come out very strong in the race. But it was a big shunt whatsoever. As fans go crazy, we are just about to start session 2. As some of the fans gives thumbs down to Lewis Hamilton when he hits a barrier. As green flags, Q2 starts 15 minutes in this session. Drivers wasting one more time, no time at all to come out on the track as rain holds stations. And we expect this session to be very, very interesting, as if you see the drivers in the positions from 7th to 15th position, they are all 7th to 13th position, they are all separated by 1,000ths of a second. So that will be very interesting battle for top 10. As the drivers comes out on their out laps, it's all set for a great session. As Lewis Hamilton comes to the press box for his views, what happened there. It'll be interesting to see what does Lewis Hamilton have to say for his first lap disaster. As Valtteri Bottas is going for the time lap. Let's see how he does. He goes around well in Sector 1. Nicely attacking the curbs. Valtteri Bottas in Mercedes. He looks to be a clear driver now. He can attack Ferraris and Red Bulls for a championship, where if he has a better lead and he could stand a chance to overtake Sebastian Vettel in second position of the driver championship. As he comes around the start finish straight, crosses the line, as Vettel is reporting some drizzle on the track. Valtteri Bottas completes 1 minute 8.901. A great lap from Valtteri Bottas here. Sergio Perez in Sector 2 also looking to set a good timing here. A slight drizzle is being reported. Sergio Perez completes the lap 1 minute 10.092 seconds. Ocon is the third. So Ricciardo is on the soft tires this time around and Verstappen on super soft tires. So split strategy for both the drivers of Red Bull as Felipe Massa attacks the curbs with great care. Nico Hulkenberg goes ninth. Fernando Alonso is P6. Also a good lap by Fernando Alonso McLaren. So a good lap by Felipe Massa. He's ahead of Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo. Of course, Daniel Ricciardo is on the soft tires, whereas Massa is on super soft tires. As the Red Bull of Max Verstappen is brought back in the pits. Looks to be some problem with Max Verstappen car. As Max Verstappen stops the car at the entrance of the pits. Expect some problem in Max Verstappen car. So, summarizing, Valtteri Bottas is P1 as of now, 9.5 minutes to go in session 2. He's set the time with 1 minute 8.901 second, followed by Sebastian Vettel, Raikkonen, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Alonso, Sainz, Perez, Van Dorn, Ocon are in the top 10. Drivers in relegation zone, Hulkenberg, Massa, Grosjean. Massa is already gone to P5, so he should be safe. Grosjean, Magnussen and Hartley. So drivers in relegation zone, Stoffel Van Dorn, Nico Hulkenberg, Grosjean, Magnussen and Hartley as we go to the last 8 minutes of this qualifying session 2. Top 7 drivers looks to be pretty safe, I would say, in their timings. As Hartley comes out of the pits one more time. We have 7.5 minutes to go in this session. Hartley comes out on super soft tires. As we go to last 4.5 minutes of this session, Valtteri Bottas leads the timesheets with 1 minute 8.901 seconds. A great lap by him. Hartley came out, he tried one lap and he's back in the pits. Doesn't seem to be that things are getting along for Brendan Hartley, the New Zealander Kiwi driver here, as he doesn't set up the time still. Drivers in relegation zone: Roman Grosjean, Haas; Stoffel Vandoorne, McLaren; Nico Hulkenberg, Renault; Kevin Magnussen, Haas; and Brendan Hartley of Toro Rosso. Esteban Ocon in his outlap. He is definitely not safe at P10. As we have 3.5 minutes to go in this session, it's all turning out to be an interesting top 10 battle here. Esteban Ocon is P10 and he's on outlap. He would like to definitely better his timing, as the timing set by him is surely not safe enough. Frenchman is currently P10. Esteban forcing the driver. He is on the flying lap now, as almost all the cars are on the track to better their timings. Sergio Perez, the teammate of Esteban Ocon, he is presently in 9th position. And Ocon has bettered his timing. He's P7 now. With Sainz, the last one, at P10, doesn't seem to be safe. Sergio Perez, the other driver, he's also on time lap. He's P9 as of now. And he does go quicker. Sergio Perez 1 minute 9.760 on super soft tires. As Brendan Hartley comes out of the car, it's time. He doesn't want to stress anymore. Car definitely not feeling good for him. As Renaults are also on the track, Carlos Sainz, with Ferraris, Haas, all on the track. Bit of lockout from Sebastian Vettel at turn 1. Kevin Magnussen couldn't do better, stays P30. Fernando Alonso, he's in 11th position now, and he goes P6 comfortably with super soft tire. What a lap by Fernando Alonso. Stoffel Vandoorne is just behind him, crosses the line, and where does he go? He remains P30. Huge gap between both the McLaren drivers. Carlos Sainz is the one. He manages to come out. He's P10. Barely manages. Valtteri Bottas, he's also putting strong lap. Would like to better his position as P1. Will he be able to break the barriers of 1 minute 8 seconds? He's 1 minute 8.638 seconds. Better this time. Max Verstappen, the next one, goes P3. 4/10 of the second slower on the time set by the leader, Esteban Ocon. Couldn't do better. P11. Sebastian Vettel breaks the timing. And he's P1. Sebastian Vettel, first time on super soft tires, and he goes P1. Valtteri Bottas, P2. Great effort by Sebastian Vettel at the time when it needed most, and to show the power of Ferrari they enjoy on this track. Checkered flag is out. It's all set. Ocon is out with Roman Grosjean, Stoffel Vandoorne, Kevin Magnussen and Brendan Hartley in Q2. As the Q2 gets over, drivers out in Q2, Carlos Sainz of Renault, Esteban Ocon, Force India, P11, Roman Grosjean, Haas, P12, Stoffel Vandoorne, P13, McLaren, Kevin Magnussen, Haas, P14, Brendan Hartley, P15, did not set the timing. as we are all set for fight for podium. Top 10 drivers will be fighting for podium now. The drivers who are top 10: Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, Max Verstappen, Kimi Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Felipe Massa, Nico Hülkenberg, Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz. And in the meantime, Sebastian Vettel, during his last lap, sets the new track record for Interlagos. As rain is looming on top of the circuit, still holding on. It will be interesting final qualifying session. As the lights goes green, we are all set for final 12 minutes of this final qualifying session. As rain might just come in at the last minute, as it is expected to come in another 14 minutes and we have 12 minutes to go. So it might be a spoil sport for somebody and might be a lottery for somebody. So every driver would like to come on the track and set the timing right away in the first chance where there is a clear track, as Valtteri Bottas doesn't leave any chance and goes on the track straight away. Ferrari is still showing the hand wait signal for their cars to come out. I'm sure that is not going to be very long for Sebastian Vettel, as they see the track positions and there they go, gives thumbs up for Sebastian Vettel to come out, bring his car out on the track. Ferrari had the pole position in Mexico, and back-to-back Ferrari pole position is something they can dream of today, as Red Bulls gets ready, Daniel Ricciardo gets ready in his car to come out on the track, and he does. Bottas once again is the first one out, keen to get going, and followed by Vettel and Verstappen on the track. Massa, Perez and Sainz, they are sitting in the pits. Valtteri Bottas, a strong first sector. As he goes around the curves, attacks the curves, Valtteri Bottas clean running on the track. Had a bit of a moment, but keeps a good control of the car. As Valtteri Bottas sets 1 minute 8.442 seconds on his super soft tires. next one is Sebastian Vettel as he comes across the line, crosses the line, and he goes P1. Sebastian Vettel 800ths of the second faster than Valtteri Bottas. He's P1. Max Verstappen is P3. Nico Hülkenberg P4. Not a very strong lag by Nico Hülkenberg, and Kimi Räikkönen goes P3 now. Kimi Räikkönen is struggling in middle sector. With Daniel Ricciardo, a lot of sparks flying on the back of the car with low downforce. Seems to be a strong timing for Ferrari and clearly the favorites for tomorrow's race, as Kimi Räikkönen is clearly 4/10 slower on Vettel's timing. Verstappen is 7/10 slower, Ricciardo is 9/10 slower, and Perez, Hülkenberg, Alonso all are in a range of 1.5 seconds down on the race, on the time set by the leader as of now, Sebastian Vettel. Fight for the pole is underway. As we go to the last 5 minutes of this qualifying session of Brazilian Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel holds fourth with P1, 1 minute 8.360 seconds. Bottas behind him, Raikkonen following, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Perez, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Sainz and Massa still to set the time are fighting for top 10 positions on the grid. As all the drivers get set for one more time, one more lap to fight for the pole. Ferrari is on provisional pole position as of now. We have just 4.5 minutes to go. Can Vettel hold on to take the pole position here? Time will decide, and not so long as we go to the last 4 minutes of this qualifying session. One more lap, the drivers will get to show off. As of now, Vettel holds 50 pole positions of his career. It could be the 51st, the lucky one. As Daniel Ricciardo doesn't feel comfortable in his car and he still carries some problem in his car. And rain is starting to fall on the track. Yes, it does. And we're going to have interesting time now. Rain is definitely falling now. Valtteri Bottas needs to find a tenth of a second to clear Sebastian Vettel. However, the rain is not so strong and drivers should be able to come out with their own choices of tires, which will be super soft tires. Fight for the pole. As McLaren gives a go-ahead to Fernando Alonso to come on the track, rain will get heavier, remember, and it will be very tricky. Any mistake at this point of time by any driver could be fatal for them. As the rain gets little heavier, drivers will not leave any stone unturned for the last 1.5 minutes of the qualifying session of Brazilian Grand Prix as Vettel leads the pack. To start off the time lap here, and Ricciardo overtakes him in out lap and he would like to go first. Raikkonen behind the Vettel as Bottas also lines up here to challenge the pole position, which is as of now provisionally with Sebastian Vettel of Ferrari. Max Verstappen sitting in 4th position, the winner of last Mexican Grand Prix 2 weeks back. As Sebastian Vettel goes around the last corner, attacks the curb and starts his time lap. 326 km per hour, 202.6 miles per hour speed in the straight. Sector 1 is strong for Ferrari. He's actually 600th of the second down on his own timing, Sebastian Vettel, in Sector 1. As he goes in Sector 2. And Sector 2 is not so strong for Ferrari. So looks to be Sebastian Vettel will not be able to better his timing as the checkered flag comes out. Alonso only completes P7 here. Sebastian Vettel, let's see how his Sector 2 is doing. No, he's already 1/10 down. So, doesn't seems to be bettering his time, Sebastian Vettel. Max Verstappen is already 3/10 of the second down. Kimi Raikkonen is also 1/10 of the second down. So, looks to be timings not much change. Max Verstappen, no he doesn't. He stays P4. Kimi Raikkonen, he goes P3. Valtteri Bottas now. Last corner on the straight. Will he be able to snatch the pole position? Yes, he does. Valtteri Bottas gets the pole position for Mercedes, literally snatching from the jaws of Ferrari here. Valtteri Bottas. What a day for him. All chips were down for Valtteri Bottas 3 days back, and he's come back strongly, and he wants to defend his position, the championship, driver championship position with Sebastian Vettel, where he is not much behind Sebastian Vettel for second position, and he he can continue this form for this race and the next race to come in Abu Dhabi, he can surely overtake Ferrari Sebastian Vettel for driver championship. Congratulations to Valtteri Bottas on snatching the pole position from Sebastian Vettel here. McLaren has also done very good. P6. Fernando Alonso will start as Daniel Ricciardo will get 10th place grid penalty. As both the Ferraris on the track due to some reason. As both the Ferraris stops the car on the racetrack. That's very strange. So as we finish the qualifying session, Valtteri Bottas leads and he gets a P1. Sebastian Vettel on second start of the podium, and Kimi Raikkonen, other Ferrari. So 2-3 for Ferrari here for the starting grid. Fourth, Max Verstappen, Red Bull, Daniel Ricciardo, P5, Daniel Ricciardo for Red Bull, Sergio Perez P6, Fernando Alonso P7, Nico Hülkenberg P8, Carlos Sainz P9, Felipe Massa starts P10, Esteban Ocon of Force India 11th, 12th Roman Grosjean of Haas, Stoffel Vandoorne McLaren 13, 14th position Kevin Magnussen Haas, Brendan Hartley Toro Rosso 15, Pascal Wehrlein Sauber 16, Pierre Gasly Toro Rosso 17, Lance Stroll, Williams 18th, 19th, Marcus Ericsson Sauber, and Lewis Hamilton starts last on the grid. With this, I bring to an end of this live commentary. Look forward to see you again tomorrow and bring you live action coming from Brazil Grand Prix on Sunday. Till then.